Yeah, definitely, and Jalen Carter as well. But my concern with Jalen Carter, and maybe they have that concern. I'm concerned he was not the same player last year, and I'm concerned. Like I would wait on Jalen Carter. Like I can't go. He's getting top of the market money, and I get it. Normally, it's never going down, and that's been the Eagles' philosophy. Well, it can go down if somebody's hurt. And if he's not the same player, you don't want to be tied up. So I'm going to kick the can down the road if it were me on Jalen Carter, um, and wait one more year because you have time. They pick up the 5th-year option, and they have time. So
How
I
about
don't
those
think you
other
have.
looming contracts? Do they change that decision? Like, Cooper, for example, he's just second round pick, so he's got no 5th-year option. He's getting paid next summer. And then Quinion, you could extend out, but hey, maybe they want to get ahead of that and do kind of a Devontae Smith type thing where they include the 5th-year option in the extension. Like those are coming too. Does that maybe add some urgency to getting Carter done early? Because, John, while I do agree with you, there's maybe some hesitation with paying Carter now. I don't see a world where they get rid of Jalen Carter, so I'm probably just going to bite the bullet and take the risk at this point. I know that might not be the smart way to do it, but considering what's coming and considering I don't see a world where the Eagles actually let Jalen Carter walk, I'd probably just get the deal done. No.
Well, I kind of look at it like Cam Jurgens, and I'm like, you say to yourself,
Okay.
well, the medical people probably said he's fine, and he wasn't fine. You know, now maybe he bounces back, maybe his trip to Medellin works, and everything's fine. But the guy who showed up this year was not the same guy, from a physical standpoint, and he got that big deal, and it's even going to be a bigger, much bigger deal for Jalen Carter. So, look, I'm just a little bit concerned about I think people say, well, he was hurt. He missed the games with the shoulder. He'll be fine. He was not playing well before he missed the games.
So is your
Uh,
concern more shoulder based or more player based or just a combination of the two?
I'm concerned. No, well, there's a little bit of maturity stuff and all that,
Right.
obviously
It kind
spitting
of
on
all
Dak,
goes into the pot,
but
right?
that's very, very, very small compared to he wasn't the same guy last year. He was not playing the same way, even when he was at the start of the season when he was healthier. He was never healthy because he came to training camp with this issue. But and again, I think that harkens back to the year prior where he played over 1,000 snaps and they beat the crap out of him. And is he going to be the same guy? Probably, but I want to wait and see. I want to wait and see because the guy he didn't play well last year. Like I think it's hard for people, when you have somebody that gifted, and for people that watch this show. I mean, I've been telling you, Jalen Carter is the most gifted defensive player the Eagles drafted since Reggie White. Not draft. I mean, since Reggie White.
It's a big statement.
That's how gifted he is. Um, and so I'm on board that train. And as a rookie, he was close to being defensive rookie of the year. The only issue was some being able, ironically, conditioning and not playing as many snaps as they would have liked. And then the Super Bowl season, he hit that criticism out of the ballpark. Nobody played more snaps than Jalen Carter as an interior defensive lineman, and he was one of the best in football. And last year he came back and he wasn't that good. And I think it's all related to the shoulders, both of them. It's not one, it's two. I think it's all related to that, but that's the reality. That's where we are.
Right.
And I know the viral clip of him working out in South Jersey. He's going around, he's lifting weights. That's good because he wasn't able to lift weight. He wasn't able to lift weights last season.
Yeah, that's wild. Like that makes it tough to just differentiate, John. Like, is there concern with the player in terms of does it have to take you to a contract year in order to get your body in shape, or were the shoulders so bad that he literally couldn't do it, last year? But then I bring up the rookie year as well, where maybe that's just a rookie, but he also wasn't in shape for the end of the year that year as well. So I don't know. I mean, like, you kind of saw the same thing with Jordan Davis. Like, while I'm happy Jordan Davis had a great year last year, and I think he's certainly worthy of an extension, is there any concern there on a player that it took him to the contract year, to get his body in the right shape to thrive as a player? Is there any concern there for you, or am I overstating that?
No, because he did it, and I think Jordan's gotten it, but Jordan specifically, I think, has gotten a place where he found, the way to stay in shape for him.
Right.
Obviously, he's a big man. It's not
Yeah, yeah.
easy for somebody who's 6'6" and 300. It's
Yeah, and you
not
got to keep
easy.
the weight. It's not just like
Yeah.
it's not like you can just go out there and
And so he seems to found his niche and found how to do it. And I think now that he knows how to do it, I think he's going to be fine. Same thing with Jalen Carter. Like that to me, it's not a big deal for a rookie. You got to learn to be a pro. And they gave him the constructive criticism, which is like, look, you got to get in better condition so you can play more because we need you on the field. And nobody played more. So he hit, as far as I'm concerned, when it came to conditioning, he hit a home run. And even last year, when he was not playing well, he was still playing more than anybody else
Right.
on the interior.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about conditioning at all with Jalen Carter, even though it came up a couple of times, because once he missed games and Vic was asked about it and said, yeah, and that was related to not playing well, you know. So if you look and again, we use PFF because that's all we have. He's 6 of 130 as a rookie, 18 of 118 in his second season, 80 of 127 last year, 80 of 127. His run defense grade 115 of 130. He was getting pushed around because and you remember that Chicago game
Yeah,
specifically.
man.
He was getting pushed around and caved in because he couldn't use his shoulders.
Yeah, I never saw Jalen Carter get thrown around like he did in that game ever.
Yeah. So look, the guy's got enormous talent, enormous talent. I'm hopeful that, the treatment he got, he'll be better, more of the rest than the treatment, to be honest. And he'll be better. But I'm going to wait before I dive because he's going to get paid, Chris Jones level of pay. And I don't have to do it right now. I'm not going to do it right now.
Those defensive tackles, though, John, I just I think everything you said is very relevant and real to the convo. My thing is, I don't think the Eagles are letting defensive tackles walk. Certainly ones like that. I mean, they paid Fletcher Cox. I think, if I remember correctly.
Well, I don't think they're letting them walk. I'm just waiting.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't,
just waiting. That's fine. I agree. I
and
wonder,
part of it
is there a risk to the Eagles them waiting? Not a risk, but how much does that deal go up? Like, if he comes out and balls out this year, I mean, he might get 36, 37.
it'll go up a little bit, but that's a pen. Part of the reason is also because you need some space and room to do other things this year, and you don't have to do it this year. And I'm not even saying they won't do it. Maybe their doctors assure them, and they do try to do what they usually do and get ahead of the curve. I'm just saying, me personally, if you ask me, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I mean, he got drafted in 2020, what, 3? So he's getting his 5th-year option. You have this year and next year. I think people forget that.
Yeah, right. You got time. You got time.
So, it's I would be a little bit cautious on that one just because of the size of the contract.
Yep. Good stuff there. So that's